Can you tell that lady to shut the fuck up? Sorry. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ryan.
You want to retake that?
No, let's just go with it.
All right.
Hey, guys, what's up? This is Ryan with Third Coast Grappling. I'm joined by my partner, Zach.
Hey, everybody.
Producer Oliver in the house.
What's going on, guys?
So, this is episode number 2. We're going to build off kind of number 1 and kind of just roll into it. Lately, I mean, we're right in the middle of the Euros right now. I think they got through the purple belts today at IBJJF Euros. It's been kind of...
Have you been watching any?
Yeah, man. It was. It's been some really high-level action at, like, the blue belt and purple belt levels. I was like...
Any standouts?
There's this, I think it's Anderson Muniz's brother. He's a purple belt. That guy just ran through everybody in the absolute. It's kind of like...
Does it make you want to turn in your purple belt whenever you see some of those guys?
Today, what made me want to turn in my purple belt, like I'm like gasping for air halfway through the class. I'm like, God, why do they have to give me this? Like, at least as a blue belt, nobody will look at me.
Yeah, Ryan had the coronavirus from Chinatown, so...
I got it from my Mexican homie Juan, the coronavirus. He just won't stop drinking them nonstop. It's an affliction. But no... Man, it's been a good week. We had a great show Sunday. We came up with that idea, kind of just sitting around, kicking things around, and it turned out better than even I expected. I mean, it was flawlessly. I mean, it ran well. We were an hour ahead of time just because of how many submissions we had. I mean, it was unreal. What do you think?
You talking about the event recap?
Yeah. Just looking at just kind of running over the kids part.
Yeah, the event, the kids event went amazing. I was super surprised. I know kids jiu-jitsu is really up and coming, and the skill level is completely like a higher level than what it used to be. But I think that they take a lot more risks in positions that you adults maybe can't get away with as much because their flexibility and they have nothing to lose, and they're not afraid of getting hurt, so they'll take chances. And some of those wrestling skills were impressive too. That
one kid with the crazy rear naked choke gesture to us, Mr. Maximus, he hit that
Maximus
rolling Kimura,
Jolly.
man. It was so nasty.
Oh, that kid! Have you talked to his opponent?
Matt Lawrence or whatever his name was. Yeah. I mean, he popped his elbow pretty good. So I know Austin had taken him off the mat, got him some ice, and got him squared away. But man, that kid Matt Lawrence is no joke either. So I mean, Maximus came out there. You saw he had some wrestling to him too. Did you see him way he was changing levels and shooting? And then when he got in on that Kimura, it was all she wrote.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. The Brody Banks.
Oh my God, that was an incredible match.
And the Val. I'm not even going to attempt to say it. The entire night.
Let me try it. Now look, these guys commentated the whole event, but Valeriano Elizondo.
I cannot say it.
Come on.
I still can't say it. If I look at it, I still can't say it. I don't know what.
Ladies, Jax was born and raised in Austin, Texas, not Houston, where we're very friendly with our Vato friends.
I just started calling him Val because
Val Elizondo.
I was like, I can't even get his last name. I don't know what the hell is going on. But no, they both put on a war. That was the fight of the night.
Yeah, Brody started off kind of slow, and he got caught in some nasty little guillotines and like different things, and his defense was on point. And then he just kind of came back and started dictating the pace.
Yeah,
his wrestling, he imposed his will, and then Valeriano seemed to kind of fade a little bit, and then Brody kind of took over. But then it went the full amount. They went to overtime. I mean, it was
they started on their feet, right?
Yeah, and Brody finished it. Well, that kids, they were all snatching guillotines like Pedro Mourinho style.
Yeah,
like right off the shot, boom, right to the guillotine, and those kids were just catching them left and right. That was unreal, man.
Yeah, and then submission of the night was Tiffany.
IBJJF medal girl. Don't call her that because she's like, I haven't been doing super fight competitions for like 2 years. I'm more than the IBJJF medal girl. And I said, hey, that's why we brought you out here. We had to let these people realize, and we had to remind people that you are more than just the IBJJF
Yeah, so she got a submission in 7 seconds. And she showed a breakdown today, with William Tackett on her Instagram on how she got that. I thought it was pretty cool.
The way she whipped that whips it and like just
it's basically you're baiting a guard pull with the leg on the hip, and then you're swinging out, but then you're rotating back with your leg over. But you got to make sure you have that sleeve grip, and it was impressive. It was pretty cool.
Now since we're on Brazilian Fight Factory still, Caleb Tackett, baby Tack.
Yeah,
he came out.
Finally got to see him in action.
They call him the steamroller. Like that. He came out there, And I was like,
that went the whole that almost went into over. I mean, that was a long match.
It was a
wasn't
tough match for him. I think it went like 3 or 4 minutes, but like the kid Caleb kind of started a little slow. The kid came out, was pushing the pace a little bit, but then Caleb just got to his game and just finished it like a little animal.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've seen Andrew, we've seen William.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
And so he's 10 years old now.
I think he's 9 or 10.
9 or 10. Yeah, when Caleb came out, I mean, I was excited to see him because I've seen him roll before, but I'd never rolled with him.
Now, you know, it was really cool seeing Mona Bailey kind of get pushed a little bit. Like she was in there
with a last second replacement too.
Yeah, fully. I mean, they've competed before. Mona said that she's always been tough, but this chick's like 16, like 17. I think this was her youth tournament because now she's going to be doing all like the adult pans, adult worlds. And, you know, Mona's only
It's going to be a different game.
Yeah, and you could tell the size and the strength that she brought in. And it was, you know, shout out to her. I mean,
and Mona,
Isabella,
and Mona was, she won our adult qualifiers too, going up against, you know,
much bigger opponents. Yeah,
much bigger, I mean, not more experienced, I wouldn't say.
Maybe more stronger, mature. You know, bodies are more mature.
Yeah. So, and she won that. So, we knew she had the capability of going up against somebody older, but. I thought it was going to end a lot sooner just because I didn't know about Isabella, but she did a great job.
She had a great. I mean, Mona was never really threatened, but it was just the pace. Like Mona was able. She was playing a lot of worm guard. Like you saw, like she got in a transition.
She did. She did get her foot in the wormhole there. Yeah. But she didn't get all the way into worm guard.
No, it was kind of like she just to the wormhole and then she used it to sweep to come up.
Yeah.
So I thought she was a beautiful transition because she was like. She was trying to re-guard, and during that, she used the leg to like go to the worm, and then came back. It was beautiful jiu-jitsu. And then, you know, I can't say enough about the Bailey family. John, you know, his wife, you know, Mona, their brothers, amazing jiu-jitsu family.
Yeah, they helped us. I mean, John helped us.
John booked the whole kids event. Like John booked the whole card.
Yeah, now you're going to be all digging into the kids game, and
I mean, I'm there with John. John's my guy. I have no need to get any deeper than I am because that guy right there, he's with us. He came on board with us, and he's gonna, you know, I send him the applications, and I say, make the best matches you can.
Yeah, which, by the way, you know, we announced our April
last night.
Yeah, at the event and last night, and all of a sudden we have a slew of applicants. So, if you want your child,
it was like 60 plus applications. Like they kept coming in. Yeah, like today, all day. So we're probably over 100.
Limited number of slots. So I would apply as soon as possible because these we have to start booking out the matches well in advance, and John's going to help us with that. So if you're known in the game, willing to travel out and
put on a show,
then come on out.
So there's it's going to be a warehouse live. So it was kind of like I wanted to use the kind of sandbox model that we used with Third Coast Grappling 1 when we oversold it just for complete. We had to make a name for ourselves, whatever. I wasn't mad about it. It was beautiful. It was a good problem to have. But we said, hey, there were some size issues, some accommodation issues. There was a few issues with that venue with doing kids and stuff. It's more of a nightclub. So we're going to move it to Warehouse Live. We're going to give them the full shebang, and we're going to bring in even more of the top kids from around the country, do 30 or 35 kids matches, and really, continue to, make our footprint in the game, in the kids game, because there's nobody else doing it. Yeah. We're just going to keep changing it up.
With that big screen in the back.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's, another standout performance was Marco Vasquez. His dad, Eddie Vasquez, I've known for a long time through the...
that was like the second to last match.
Yeah, that was a co-main. Another late match, but Joaquin Carrasco comes from Bruno Bastos.
So there was a little bit of not controversy, but...
The weight thing?
No, I think... he was in a position, and then they were going out of bounds, and they had to reset him standing up.
Yeah.
And I know his dad was pretty upset about that, but he understood. He was like, he knew that that's basically IBJJF rules. Is he got the 2 points?
But you got to start on the feet.
And he was like, "Are you kidding me?" He has them full. I can't remember what position that he was in whenever they were going out of bounds. But
have you seen that Joaquin kept using that Ezekiel as a counter? Like every time he would get put in Marco's guard, he would Ezekiel.
Yeah, he was really trying that Ezekiel for a while.
He was breaking the guard with the Ezekiel, opening the guard, and that's how. I mean, he almost tapped Marco. I was right there. I saw his face, dude.
Yeah.
And Marco hasn't been beaten in like 4 years.
Yeah, you know what I noticed a lot was there was a lot of closed guard.
A ton of closed guard.
A ton of closed guard, and I think it's either that they're more focused on kind of the basics, or because there was awesome transitions. So that I saw a lot of really cool open guard transitions too. But I think the closed guard is for the kids is either that they're obviously focusing on a lot of the fundamentals, but I think also the game is kind of moving back to more closed guard too.
Well, Professor Drac and Brandon as well both said that closed guard is coming back. Like all this jiu-jitsu stuff and like it's cyclical. Closed guard personally is my favorite position. Yeah. And it's such a controlling position that if you have the length and the limbs like Marco and Joaquin had, and I mean you've been there. I mean we've all been there.
And there's gonna be more people passing on their knees, going back to closed guard and passing on their knees rather than these kind of like jump because it's hard to control.
Well, you're getting baramboloed. You're standing to pass, the legs come open. You're getting baramboloed, or they're going to Delahiva, or you're getting so like passing on the knees and being close and tight. That's kind of like you said where it's coming back.
Yeah. So we saw a lot of that in the kids event, and if you missed it. Go on to Third Coast Grappling YouTube page, subscribe. Please give us a subscribe so we can bring you more content and go ahead and watch it because, I mean,
it's amazing,
it was an amazing event.
And we apologize for the quality a little bit.
I did upload another feed that the brightness is fixed a little bit. So you can watch the original live stream, which is a little dark. We're gonna fix that for next time. But then I also posted one that I lightened it up a little bit.
Yeah,
so you can see you can see very clearly Oliver's pants do not match his jacket,
as was said in the YouTube comments.
In the YouTube comments,
absolutely,
and the chat.
My rebuttal to that though, it's a sport coat, not a suit.
But yeah, I mean, Oliver, you're still a sharp dressed man. But he, I wanted to give just say something a little special to the parents and stuff. These guys will tell you, I was like kind of hardened against like, kids and this and jiu-jitsu parents. And like, I heard all the horror stories.
Like a Grinch, I would say.
I was kind of a Grinch about it. But you know what? I have a kid. I love kids. Ryan loved kids. Zach has a kid. I love his kid. Oliver has a kid. Love him too. But it was just something about, I had seen a few things at tournaments that kind of turned me off. Parents yelling and screaming, kids, losing and crying, and parents, oh, you're not supposed to cry. What are you like? Just terrible, just stuff. And so I was kind of dreading it. But you know what? I felt like Rocky after he goes to Russia and he fights Ivan Drago. And the Russians are, chanting Russia at first. They're all behind Ivan Drago. But at the end, if I can change and you can change, we can all change. And that's how I felt. I was like, my heart is warm.
You told me this analogy earlier. I didn't get it.
No, you need to watch more Rocky is what you need to do.
I've definitely seen Rocky.
No, but I'm saying like Rocky's sitting there. He's trying to turn the crowd. I was the crowd. So I wasn't Rocky. I was the crowd that turned into pro-American.
I thought you were Ivan Drago.
No, I'm not. You're Ivan Drago.
Oh, okay.
He's Rocky.
If he dies, he dies.
It's perfect. Nailed it. But no, it was it warmed my heart, man. That was some of the best environment we've had for an event. Like the parents screaming their Moses, about like just chanting and like doing really fun stuff. And it like me and Oliver were just sitting there on the edge of our seat, like during the Brody Banks match. Yeah. And just everybody was the energy. And then like these kids literally.
But you'll see like parents standing on tables, for these kids. So,
I loved it.
I mean, it is a different energy when it's your child because one, and I haven't experienced this yet, but when your child is playing baseball, for example, like you want him to do really well, right? But when he's fighting somebody, I can't imagine like what the feeling is whenever you're watching your son either getting beat up and how bad you want to like restrain yourself from going up there and like whooping that little kid's ass or his dad. Like, oh, your son want to
my kid tried choking me.
Where's your dad at? I'm gonna arm drag his ass.
But they're at the black belt.
But I mean, think of it like when your son or your daughter is like winning, then that feeling's got to be like crazy.
Man, it was incredible though. Like I can't say enough about the kids. They were total pros, and I said it all weekend. Like these adult competitors that we deal with, some of them are great, but some of them could take some big notes from these kids.
Yeah, these adults need to act more like kids sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, they just have fun with it. Like I saw this girl, Apollonia Nuncio, I think was her name. She guillotined this girl from the back and then went to the mount
guillotine
and then back. And these kids are like 7 years old.
I think I said during the comment, I was like, I can't even do that. I don't even know what.
and so I'm walking up there and this poor cute little blonde girl is sitting there. Holding her throat, and I'm having to like give a medal.
That's
and, like,
something I did not expect, and I totally should have.
It hit me in the feels, dude.
Yeah, and that was like the first match,
First couple of, it was like second or third
match. Yeah. Yeah, we had. I mean, a little girl started tearing up, and I was like, oh man.
And my little girl's on the front row, so I'm sitting there like it really like hit me hard. So I'm like, man, I was trying to like console her and like give a medal at the same time. Like it was definitely a different vibe, and it made me realize how serious we need to take it with because we had other people's kids' hands, and
yeah, absolutely.
And we needed to make sure that they were protected and that they had the best time possible. And that motivated me to make sure that time we do something for these kids, we do it special, we do it the right way. Even the way we dress. Like I was talking to Oliver, I was like, yeah, we're going to be a little dressed down, but no. Like why would we give them a dressed down version of us? You know, they're coming in and it's the biggest thing that they've probably ever done at that point.
Yeah.
So we need to give them the full experience. And that's why, you know, and it was incredible. I can't say anything any more about it. It was amazing.
Yeah. I just think it's going to be cool one day if, you know, one of these kids are like at the, you know, Gordon Ryan level, and then you can go back and, you know, watch on YouTube.
The Genesis story.
When they were, you know, their first super fight. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, and in a short note before we move on, but once again, thanks to the parents, the kids. It was amazing. I can't wait for the next one, April 5th. We're out live, but we do have the Third Coast Grappling Scholarship Fund. We're going to be launching that May 30th at Scout Bar. I have a gigantic headliner for that. My background, as some of you don't know, was in music and music production and music promotion for a long time. So we were able to bring in a band that hasn't played this area in years, hasn't played a venue this size in years, and that has some of the biggest hits in rock and roll history, like in modern rock and roll. So we're gonna have a big surprise for you guys here soon. I will be able to announce, I think, at our March event or a little after, due to some geographical clauses with the band and stuff like that. But just stay tuned. We're gonna launch this baby as bigger than we've launched anything else.
Cool.
So what do we got coming up, Zach? What's up after? I think the qualifiers is a week from Friday, right?
Yeah. So we have the Qualifiers III. So it's our third qualifiers event, and I'm excited about this because our last qualifiers was blue belts for the females and the males. So this is now brown belts for the males and purple belts for the females. So we're going to see a higher level of skill, obviously. Mm-hmm. And some of these guys I've personally trained with that are on the card, and I'm excited to see them go at it because this is going to be awesome.
Oh man, the brown belt bracket is like it could be an end all, like, you know, a world beater type of bracket. I mean, these guys they're going to bring it, and it's going to be unreal. You've got Austin Arande, who's one of our referees. You've got
Gumby JiuJitsu, which he also placed second in our when he was a purple belt, when he was a purple belt on our qualifiers 1 against William Tackett. So I talked to him on this weekend, and he was like, "I'm ready to, you know, feels like he can show his best jiu-jitsu." Even though I was like, "You got second place against William Tackett," he was like, "I know, but I know I could have done better," and was excited about coming out and showing what he has. So one of our staff is going to be competing on this qualifiers event.
Yeah, I mean, we've got we've got like some world beaters. We got Alex Lane, who hasn't really done many super fights or anything much as of late, but the guy is one of the top brown belts that's come out of Texas. You've got Tiago Asso. He's one of our friends coming up. Actually, Oliver's got the brackets right here. He's about to pull them up, and we'll take a peek over here at him. We'll start with the ladies. Let's shoot back. So finding purple belt women was harder than I definitely expected. Like, I mean, if you think blue belt,
just finding purple belts in general is pretty tough.
Yeah, like purple belt women.
Purple belts is when you go in hiding.
Like, well, blue belts when you're like technically going hiding, but purple belt women,
you're like the middle of the road. So you know, white and blue belts are after you. The brown and black belts are like, you ain't ready. So you got to go hiding. Go hiding, and that's why you can barely ever find any purple belts.
But I mean, a lot of the women on there are from out of town. Like Lynn Chacha, she's up from the Northeast. Tiara, she's from Oklahoma. Alana, she's from Victoria. Shout out Jordan Holly. That's his wife, Alana. She's amazing.
She's fought for us, too.
Yeah, she's coming back off an injury. Gabrielle Villafuerte, she's another one from up in the Northeast. Our friend Cassidy Welch, blue belt killer, stepping up to purple belt.
To go to purple belt.
She's amazing. I think she's going to do very well. Melissa Lozano is a replacement for Stephanie Trevino, who is a 3CG alum.
She got promoted, right?
Yeah, Stephanie is a purple belt, but she was injured. She got injured.
Oh, okay.
So she's going to take some time to heal. Alyssa Sheik, well-known purple belt around town. And then Amber Smallridge, she's kind of IG famous. She's she's won world. She's done no-gi pans, and she's going to be coming in heavy. I really looking forward to seeing that Amber Smallridge and Cassidy match if that actually happens.
Oh, you think that's going to be fight of the match?
Oh man, those two they're very similar. So like Amber's like a dark-haired Cassidy. They're both former women pro bodybuilders.
They're
both
so strong.
Super strong. And like I've rolled with Cassidy, and that was not a good experience. So like I trained with her at open mat, and I kind of took it a little light. And our friend Mo was like, man, you got to train with her like a man. Because, like, I went out there, and, like, she had me in a triangle that I was, like, seeing stars. And then I had to, like, do the spaz escape. Like, push her off me. And then I was like, all right. Well, the second time I went with her, had to exert my dominance. I'm just kidding. She still almost beat my ass. But she's amazing, though. All these ladies up there are gonna put on a show. And, the brackets are what they are. So these women are going to have to fight 1 to 3 times to take the title.
Yeah.
And then they'll be fighting on the biggest card of the year so far, March 14th.
Yeah, we're excited. All right, so the guys bracket, the brown belts, we have, all right, Eric Wright.
Pressa BJJ, Conroe area.
Going up against our very own Ricky Rivas, commentator, and he's actually our champion for... is he a champion?
No, he's not a champion.
No,
It was
not
just a
champion.
super
Oh,
fight.
okay.
But no, Ricky, he's coming off a very, very big win at Third Coast Grappling 3 against Kevin Cruz.
Kevin Cruz, yeah.
Who's beaten
tough.
Christian Guzman, who is, Christian is kind of seeing a tear himself. I mean, Christian came in and, he was able to get we gave him a title shot against, what's his name? Eric Duran, I think his name was.
Yeah.
And, Christian was coming off a loss on the Third Coast stage. So a lot of people were kind of like, oh, why is he getting a title shot? But what he did at Submission Hunter Pro against that jabroni from that, what school is that? I don't even want to say their name.
The dark side.
Yeah, Randy Baker. I think.
Baker, yeah.
Yeah,
Who also fought for us before too.
Yeah, he put him to sleep, put him out. And it was like, that was like a statement for him because Randy had beaten him prior. So I was like, you know what, you may have lost first, Christian, but you're on the rise, man. Let's give him the shot. And he went in there and he seized it and he did well. But Kevin Cruz, he had his number. That's who beat Christian. And Ricky came in, stepped up, and put a beat down on Kevin.
Kevin's from Guam, right?
Yeah, it's super tough guy.
Like every Guam guy I know
is the toughest guy in the world.
It's like Samoans in rugby. They're just all naturally good at grappling.
Well, employees for 3CG, Nate and Dean, Guam guys, and I'm telling you, man, like when you're out there and you go from spearfishing in a loincloth to immigrating to America, like things.
You just had a image pop in my head of Dean in a loincloth, and I don't like it. So
I do, actually. I'm going to keep that image a little bit longer. But Bradley Clifton, he also fought for us in the purple belt bracket, you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he fought in our purple belt bracket. He did really well.
Yeah, and so did Austin. So both of them coming in.
Stepping up, trying to make a name for them. Austin's older brother, Damien, is one of the top brown belts in the world.
Yeah, he's super good.
And, they kind of complete our triumvirate at our officiating. So Trevor,
they're
Austin.
Like the most professional refs.
And they're amazing. They take great direction. I mean, I couldn't be happier. Andy Cordova, Zach, you want to expound on Andy a little bit?
Yeah, he took me down like 20 times today in wrestling. So
he'll do that.
No, Andy's super experienced.
World champ.
Years of experience. You can even go on YouTube and watch him beat, Northcutt as Sage Northcutt's just punching him in the face. But yeah, he's always super game. Very technical. He probably should have won the last super fight match he had on Third Coast Grappling.
He was up like 10-2 or something.
Yeah, he was up on points, relaxed, and
he went for a heel hook.
Yeah,
and he fell in love with the legs. We'd been training him before, but he went for that heel hook. And Salazar is super, super experienced too, and he hit that back take off the heel hook, kind of like Felipe did to Gordon. Yeah. And it was he took his back and choked him out.
Yeah, and he was up. He only needed one more point.
So it was like kind of got honey dicked right there at the end of it. Like
I've trained with Nick too. Nick,
he's a brick shit house dude.
Yeah, he's out of Lake Charles, Gracie Baja. I think I trained with him during the Keenan Cornelius.
He did come to the seminar because
and
Professor Jaime sent his guys down.
Yeah, and he was really tough. So I'm excited to see him too. I've seen him at the IBJJF tournaments.
He just got his brown belt as well. So I mean, he's a newer brown belt. So we've got some Alex Lane. We kind of already kind of went over him, but he's amazing. Tiago Asso. He was. We met
beast.
Tiago
Little
when
beast.
we met Tiago when he was just a little purple belt. You know, coming down here to train for Worlds with Lucas.
Yeah, even Isai was like, that guy's tough. So.
And dude, we'd watch him. He would just sit there and take beating after beating, but he would. I mean, he would always bounce back. Like the guy had like an unlimited gas tank.
Yeah. So is he coming down from Brazil?
No, he's in Arizona. He's out there. He's under
okay.
Professor Flavio. He runs that school with him.
Oh, okay, cool.
So he's coming out from there, and Tiago's looking to make a statement. I mean, that guy has been winning everything, but I think that
Third Coast Grappling's where you come out to do it. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him.
we've made stars off these qualifiers events. Whether it was William, whether it was Cody, you know, all those guys have came off the qualifiers into the bigger events. And you know what? Look, we'll give you the opportunities, but you have to show up and perform. Because, I mean, we can only do so much. If you're not winning the matches, I mean, there's nothing else we can do.
Yeah, and you know, it's a tournament style, so you know, 3 matches. So you know, there is some strategy in how hard you go, but it's a little bit different than a super fight. But you know, if you can go hard for 3 matches, we know you can go really hard for a single match, right?
Well, I mean, look at some of these first round matches. Like generally in tournaments, you can usually say, "Oh, I might have a gimme here or gimme here."
No, there's no
gimmies here.
Yeah, so.
It's a murderer's row like from the beginning. So
all right, and who are some of the super fights?
The super fights, we've got Eric Cassiano versus Dean, our friend from Guam, Dean Paulino.
Yeah.
Eric is a guy I actually faced at the last Grappling Industries. It was the one I hit the
flying
armbar on.
He works for Grappling Industries, right?
Yeah,
or does he own it? Or
for him with Marcos, the guy,
okay.
that guy that runs it. But Eric's a great dude. But Dean and him had
he's got a little sneaky kind of leg lock from the back take.
That's how I took first place, is because like the guy that was leading in points, Eric went in there. I was like, oh, he got his back taken, and next thing I know, he snaps his.
He like
ankle.
tries to get his back taken so he can do this,
and he honey dicks this guy, and then there we go. I took gold, but no, Dean and him had a war at the same tournament.
Yeah,
and Eric beat him.
So Dean's looking for that rematch.
Yeah, Eric's just been wanting to compete, and I thought that would be a good one for both of them. They both bring it, and
he had that rash guard, the choke dealer with
choke dealer,
with
armbar
Pablo Escobar on it. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, we got them, and then we got Susana Morado. She's new to 3CG versus our old friend Julie McClellan.
Oh
Shout out
she's
Colin
a
and Julie.
super beast.
Super beast, and so it's in the gi though. So Julie doesn't do a whole ton of gi.
Oh yeah.
So this is going to be interesting for her. Susana, she comes from a good school. She's won a few tournaments at white belt. She just got her blue belt not too long ago. So, but very active, very scrappy. You know, she comes from United Jiu-Jitsu. So she's trains with Taylor.
Okay. Yeah, Taylor. Yeah.
To a lady
Enough
beast.
said.
A lady beast. But yeah, that's a good one. You got Arian DeMello versus Nathan Stanton. Nathan's one of the kind of top brown belts out of Austin. He's won some of like the On It Open and done a few of those things, you know, like the sub only things. And Arian, I mean,
yeah, Arian's.
What are you gonna say?
I mean, he's super good. I mean,
he's amazing.
He's one of our poster boys.
Yeah,
so.
We're a big fan of Arian DeMello here. He's actually signed the wall behind Zach.
He's got that that poster of him like.
Yeah, I mean he's our model life 24/7. But but our main event's gonna be Cody Owens, the Texas Zombie. He's man, I remember watching him in an MMA fight when he fought MMA, and this guy had the biggest fucking crowd.
Yeah, Dave Navarro was talking about him. He said he's so good. I mean, he's good at MMA,
but he kind of quit because he just was doing his thing. But Cody stepped up.
Tired of getting punched in the face, probably.
And he was like, "Hey man, put me on," and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna put you on." And so he drew Hector Silva. Hector,
the arm collector.
The arm collector. But Hector, I mean, he stepped his game up. He had a hell of a match with Duke Edwards at the last qualifiers for the,
Yeah.
I thought they did great.
Yeah.
The heel hooks and all, all subs legal. He's doing that again with.
Are both of them purple belts?
Yeah.
Yeah, purple belts.
But they're doing all subs legal again as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, but Cody, he's an animal. He just won. I forgot what tournament it was. He just won. Oh, he did the grappling games and he took double gold.
Hector's also the same. He's Revolution Dojo, just like Julie, right?
Yeah. And Alex Lane is actually Rev Dojo now too.
Okay.
So they're all out there doing their thing. But the Qualifiers 3 goes down on Friday, the 31st. Tables are still available. Tickets are still available. We don't predict anything crazy sell out like the kids event. So come out Friday night. Come enjoy free drink. Come enjoy some drinks. Some great jiu-jitsu. Not free drinks, but come out and just see what it's about. I mean, if you're gonna come to one of our events,
they're free drinks if somebody buys you a drink. So
maybe if you
make a friend,
dress nice, smell good.
Yeah.
But no, these events have traditionally been some of our most exciting. So if you want to see some good jiu-jitsu, catch it live on our YouTube at Third Coast Grappling.
Are we doing third and fourth place matches too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to be great. I mean, 2 brackets, 5 super fights. I mean, you can't beat it. It's going to be amazing. So make sure you tune in. So we're we're gonna keep on moving along. We've got a few things that we want to continue to touch on.
We're going to go into making the match.
Making the match. So I guess, that'll be kind of my forte. So we're going to go into some matches that we made with our friend Mo Jossam, who's the head organizer for ADCC and just an all-around badass. He's just a great guy. So Mo reaches out to me and he's like, hey, I know the card's getting full, but can you put some of my guys on? Mike Perez, Oliver Taza, Ethan Krellinson, good friends of Mo's. But the guys don't get as much love as they should on the national scene because, with the way certain contracts are set up, they might not fall under certain criteria or, people don't think this, that, and the other. They're all three exciting. They're all three good friends of ours. Two of them have fought for us already.
I think all of them were at the Modolfo camp, too.
Yeah, they were all at most camps. Yeah. So, so he hits me up and he's like, hey, for Mike Perez, why don't we look at Tractor Oliveira, the guy that fought Inacio? And I'm a fan of him. He did well at ADCC, but that was the most boring match we've ever had in Third Coast Grappling history. So I was like, I told Mo, I'm like, nah, man, that's a little too boring for me. I was like, we can do better. And so we just started kicking names around. I'm like, you know what? Let me see if Wagner Rocha will do this.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the match.
Always exciting.
Because Wagner is a lot smaller than Mike. Mike was like 193. He's been, working on his gains, trying to get his.
Wagner is smaller than Mike?
Yeah, Wagner is like 170, I think. So we had to
He's
make.
just taller. That's why he looks like. To me, I think he's bigger.
So I had to haggle back and forth, and Wagner's like, man, I don't want to give up that much weight. I fought Ethan at your last one. He's smaller. He's like, I really don't want to do it. And so he was like, it's going to cost this much. And I'm like, Wagner, I'm not going to pay that. Like, I'll pay this, and then blah, 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 and this. He goes, all right, make it at 183 in this amount, and we got to do it. And I was like, I'm still not paying that. So, like, I go back to Mo, and I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. He's like, don't worry about it. Tell him I'll pay the extra 1,000.
So there we go.
So we made the match.
We made the match.
But that is, that match.
So why is that match interesting to you?
Well, Mike Perez, we were at ADCC, and we saw his match with Gaudio, which we thought he won. I thought he beat Gaudio.
Yeah.
And, I thought he wasn't given a good rub on that. And Mike's a kind of a prodigal son of H-Town, like he's from Houston. He grew up in Katy.
He got a super fast submission in Third Coast Grappling, too.
Yeah, he has the record for the fastest.
Third Coast Grappling, too, yeah.
Yeah, in June. So he has the fastest submission on record. I love Mike Perez.
Wait, faster than Tiffany?
Yeah, his was like 4 seconds. He guillotined Travis Moore in like nothing.
Yeah, that was super quick.
It was quick, but, Mike,
quick payday.
But they're both kind of grimy. They're both kind of dogs. They have that nasty, like, Mike likes those wrist locks. Remember that wrist lock he hit on Craig Jones at Polaris?
Yeah.
Like, they're both nasty dudes. Like they fight now. So I think Mike Perez is kind of like a younger kind of Wagner style, but that right there is just going to be.
They don't have any problem putting their hands on your face.
No, not at all. And Wagner's hands, like literally.
Oh yeah, he's got
face.
the biggest hands I've ever seen. He's
like,
the like Troy Aikman hands,
like Shaquille O'Neal hands. Like it's like here. Like what size shoe do you wear? I wear a size 8. Oh, yeah. So I guess you got it all in your hands.
It's like, how did you shake both of my hands with one?
Man, that guy at the end of the last Third Coast, I think it was in June. Yeah, I'm down there and like Cyborg and all these guys are like down in the lobby and they're laughing and I'm like, Wagner, that was a great match. Blah blah blah. He's like, yeah, cool. And I went to shake his hand and he wrist locked the hell out of me, man. And it hurt for like 2 weeks. Like I couldn't even it was like worse than a Lucas wrist lock. And I'm like, I'm always gonna remember Wagner because he's the one that wrist locked me in the hotel lobby at 4 a.m. But no,
that was the night it went super late.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah, we decided to adjust the amount of fights for that one, but we did realize with the kids, it was going by so fast that we can add some more.
Yeah,
kids,
10 or 15 more.
Yeah, it was going by like.
I think
because the submissions were either so fast, but the matches were shorter anyways too, so you can add more.
And I was conservative about the number, but I looked at it again, like probably almost 90% submission rate.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
It was crazy.
And our rules played amazing with the kids. And like the tweaks that we were able to make to the kid rules I came up with, it was just, I kind of looked at like a kind of a culmination of like different kid rule sets around, and that came and landed on that. But it worked out well. Next match, Oliver Taza versus Servio Tulio. Our friend Servio, man.
Servio.
He's
every del Pojada.
He's the other half. I mean, Servio's a great guy. You know, he was another guy that had
He went up against Wagner. He lost to Wagner in
ADCC. And that was a great match.
That was a great. I was super.
He kept doing the
one.
preg trap on Wagner.
Yeah.
Like we noticed it because we did that. We trained with Felipe, but you know, Servio would hit that preg trap. He kept trying that heel hook. But Wagner has like some of the best. Like he did a DVD on it.
He has the best leg defense.
I mean, with Ethan, he went the whole time with Ethan, like leg entanglements, and he came out.
I mean, I saw an article after. It might have been Flo that was saying it was like a clinic and
masterclass.
Masterclass in how to defend against leg locks.
But no, Servio versus Taza. Taza's tough, man. Like I I've known about Oliver Taza for a long time because he comes out of TriStar. He was one of GSP's guys, and he came up under Faraz, the hobby.
Yeah, and he was in ADCC too, right?
Yeah, he's been at the trials. He's won the trials a few times.
He was part of Gordon or the Donaher crew that was down there during ADCC.
I have a funny story. So when Lucas Valente was a brown belt, I remember I forgot where we were at. I think it was like the Dallas. Me and him traveled to the Dallas Open, I think it was, and he faced Oliver Taza in the finals as a brown belt. And I remember Oliver he just looks over and he's like, when he saw who it was, and it goes out there and got tapped in like 8 seconds, done. And then he walks off. He goes, I'll take silver to this guy.
Sounds like me going up against someone training.
Yeah, so it was great. But Oliver versus Servio, that's going to be another action nonstop. Both those guys are going to bring it, and we're excited at that. But making that match was pretty simple. You know, Mo was like, "Hey, Oliver needs a match," and I'm like, "Well, Servio needs a match." He was like, "Oh, well, let's do that one." I'm like, "Done."
Yeah.
And then it's done. So, the next one, that big one that we were able to come up with, has a cool story to it. Ethan Krellinson versus Gio Martinez. So me and Mo are sitting, and he's like, "Hey, man, for Ethan, let's think about, what about this guy? And I'm like, I'm not feeling that. Like, if we're going to spend money on this, let's do it the right way. I'm like, what about Gio from 10th Planet? And he's like, yes, like immediately. So like I reached out to Gio. I actually reached out to Richie, his brother, Boogie.
Yeah.
And because I know him more than Gio. And I was like, hey, man, what's up? You think Gio would like this match? Blah, 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 blah. He's like, what's the details? So he kicks it over to Gio. And Gio immediately texts me. He's like, dude, I'm in.
Nice.
And so like to put Ethan Krellinson and Gio Martinez together, I'm telling you, neither of those guys have ever had a boring fight in their life.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and both their styles, it's going to be a crazy leg battle, I think. And it's just going to be like two little tornadoes rolling around across the mats. It's going to be amazing.
It's probably going to, I see it kind of being like the Jordan Holy,
Marvin
Castell match.
But
like higher tech, maybe like a little even higher
pace. I think the pace will be, because like Marvin and Jordan was like just like a shootout between like leg attacks.
I felt sorry for, I think Berto was reffing that and having to keep track of like sweeps and all. I mean, it was because it was just back and forth.
And shout out to our guy Jordan Holy. He fights Damian Anderson. Jordan just had a huge victory
against
Frank Rosenthal at Submission Underground, and I'm a big fan of Frank Rosenthal. He's great. But Jordan, I mean, I've believed in this guy since the day I met him. Like he's I think he's almost fought on every Third Coast card except for one or two. He fought Pedro Mourinho at the last qualifiers. He doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. He doesn't give a shit.
Who outweighed him a lot?
Like 80 pounds, like 70 pounds or something. Like Jordan will fight anybody. So he tried to get his Lachlan Giles on against Pedro Mourinho, but it didn't work out too well. But Jordan came out with that big win, and I think him and Damian have been jawing each other a little bit on social media.
Yeah, so that's gonna be fun to see.
It's gonna be a fun match.
Yeah.
But man, as far as making the match goes, those three right there. We're very grateful for Mo's assistance in coming on and putting some of these matches on this card, because it turned a great card into an amazing card. So shout out.
Absolutely. What do we got next, Oliver? All right. Any updates on 3CG4?
We had Roberto Jimenez. He pulled out. So he got his black belt recently. So he was kind of like, I don't want to fight Pedro, who's a brown belt, as a black belt. It makes sense.
It makes sense, too, because those guys are fighting each other like every time they go to any tournament. So I think it's about time to give that one a rest and like have them come back together. Once they're both black belts, I think that would be an awesome rematch. I agree,
and they're both seasoned. Pedro's got, I think it's 2-1 on him right now.
I think we had booked that before they even saw each other in the
it was booked before. Yeah, it was booked before then.
It kind of watered it down once they fought each other in Worlds. So it's good that it's great that Roberto got promoted. That's awesome, because that kid definitely deserves it.
He's amazing. His family's I like Raul a lot.
Raul's awesome.
He's been a friend of the show
since the very beginning. So and Roberto fought on our very first card. Raul's fought on our card.
Their family's a great family.
Yeah, super shout out to the Jimenez family. But Pedro needs a new opponent. So who we got going?
I'm not supposed to announce it until after Euros. But let's put it this way: I'm
super excited.
I've made a habit of, when people pull out or there's replacements, I make a habit of making the match better.
Yeah.
And I always have. Like, this is no
All right,
difference.
so the next Third Coast Grappling Radio we'll be able to announce?
After Euros, we'll be able to announce. So yeah,
next week?
Yeah, that's over after this week, and I should have a good.
Okay, so tune in next week to find out who
Pedro Marino
will be
is fighting.
fighting Pedro Marino.
Some of our Third Coast Grappling Underground fans, you can find that group on Facebook, Third Coast Grappling Underground. I gave them a little preview, a little bit of who the opponent is, but we keep it CIA and Third Coast Grappling Underground. So if we find out you're going to be tried for treason, it'll make the Trump impeachment hearings look like child play.
We'll deny everything.
Everything. But other than that, I mean, we've just been kind of rolling on. I mean, I've been looking at some stuff in LA for a possible end of year, maybe September through December time frame. Doing a show out in Los Angeles with our friend Edwin Najmi. So I'm kind of
that would be really cool. Taking the Third Coast on the road, and
Third
I
Coast
think
versus the West Coast.
Yeah, that's the idea, right? Is if we can get every match a Texas versus
or Third Coast, which is like Texas,
the
Louisiana,
entire
Miami with the Fight Sports guys.
Yeah, it's pretty much all the way down to Florida, Texas to Florida.
If you touch the Gulf of Mexico,
there is no coast in Arizona. Just to let you know, so
y'all aren't allowed to come to this event.
But they could be the West Coast technically.
Well, it's either.
We'll see if there's any good Arizona people out there.
Tiago is from Arizona.
Yeah, so maybe he can be on the card.
Maybe not.
We'll see.
I don't know. But Third Coast versus the West Coast is something we
that will be the theme. So start getting ready. Who's going to win? Who's the best?
Hey, Texas is the best. The Third Coast is the best.
Yeah,
and everybody's just the rest. So we're going to come in there and we're going to put our Texas-sized beat down on you West Coast.
He said it. He said it. Well, you can't be biased in making the matches too. So we got to get somebody else on the West Coast representation. You know
who the West Coast representation would be, right? Mr. Mo Jossam.
Yeah,
he's Mr. West Coast himself.
So he brings up who he wants to fight against the guy that we're bringing up, and I think that would be really cool.
No, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to say, hey Mo, if you're listening to this, let's do it. You pick your West Coast squad, we'll pick our Third Coast squad, and let's have a battle. September, October, November, December, and let's see what comes up of it, my friend.
In LA, let's do it.
Do it in your home backyard. So
how we doing on time, Oliver?
You guys got about 20 minutes left.
Awesome. Well, I guess we can go into some kind of...
Can we go back to news?
Yeah, kind of go into some more Third Coast grappling, maybe not related news, but grappling news. We saw the Modolfo Super Camp where Mo, basically did his...
Yeah, I'm super jealous about that.
Yeah, I was low-key, like, begging him, like, hey, like...
Let me go.
But then, like, he kind of explained it to me. Like, we probably could have came out there, but I was like... He's like, we're going to have all these high-level guys out there. They're all going to be training together.
They're not going to want to train with our bunk ass.
Bunk ass, like, out of shape, like, dad bod, purple belts.
Right.
Like, have you seen me in a rash guard? I'm telling you, I'm really glad we didn't have to go do that.
Yeah, we're going to be chilling by the pool.
And I'm going to wear my sweater while we're hanging out. But no, man, it was amazing. He brought in guys.
Is it for like 2 weeks? It seems like it's forever.
It did like 8 days. I kept thinking, I was like, this is way too long for a vacation. Like after like 3 or 4 days, like vacation is normally time to
well, they're working, man. They're not vacation.
No, they did great. Like Gordon, so we're sitting there, and I saw he had like a seminar at some place called the Goat Shed JiuJitsu or something. So he sends me a WhatsApp.
Yeah.
He sends me a WhatsApp at the kids event, and I'm looking down, and he's like, look, this guy rented a goat for my seminar. And so he sent me a picture of him and a goat, and I'm like, oh, father and son. But no, it's I think it was really awesome what Mo did. He brought guys in from Atos. He brought in Kynan. He brought in Mike Perez, the Rotolos. He brought in Taza, Krellinson. He brought in the guys from BJJ Fanatics were there filming because there was like a DVD there.
They're gonna release a lot of the stuff.
So like Gordon's out there training with Kynan. Gordon's out there training with JT Torres. Which shout out JT.
I wish we had seen more of that.
I can only imagine, but Gordon said that legit strongest guy he's trained with. Like he's like
multiple people have said that.
So like.
Which we talked about the last in the make of the match was him and JT.
Let's talk about that match a little bit more. So I've been like really looking at a lot of JT's older gi stuff, and his passing it's more punishing and it has more effectiveness in no gi. Right. Like in the gi, he has never gotten past silver at the podium. Neither is Lucas either, but at world as black belt. But I think
that you think it's kind of more even because it's going to be in the gi compared to no gi?
I think it's going to be more even, but I think that we saw Lucas Lepre, he couldn't do anything.
But remember too that Keenan basically invented the lapel guard to
keep JT off of him.
Yeah, so and that's you can't do lapel guard unless you're in the gi. So as far as Keenan has come, he's great in the gi.
Mm-hmm. He's like the best.
He had to invent a new style of jiu-jitsu just to. By the way, I definitely want to check out that Legion gym next time we're in California.
Yeah, and Keenan said we have an open invite. He said that they had like 2,500 visitors in 30 days.
That's nuts. Yeah.
2,500.
Have you seen the footage of their like open mats on Sundays?
Oh, it's
It looks
amazing.
crazy. And he also had a walkthrough of the gym. It looks really cool. They got like a little podcast area and little kids area and the gym and like the actual weightlifting area.
If I had a gym, it's kind of like the gym I'd want to have. It's pretty awesome. You know, speaking of Keenan though, I tagged you in it before you were doing wrestling while I was honey dicking around. I didn't want to do wrestling today, but Keenan posted something about like jiu-jitsu plus judo plus sambo plus this equals, and he was trying to say American jiu-jitsu, and like I tagged you. I'm like, Zach, I think they're onto our mixed grappling art idea. And so I just typed mixed grappling arts, and like everybody liked it. I'm like, hold on, we might be onto something. So Third Coast Grappling, you know, we're not doing jiu-jitsu, we're not doing wrestling, we're doing the mixed grappling arts, right?
Yeah. Well, I think there's something that we can eventually get to where we can, you know, come up with a certain rule set that kind of, you know, you can be sambo, judo, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu, and everyone can come in and be able to compete in their game.
Level of fairness.
And level of fairness. And that's going to bring in the wrestling fans. It's going to bring in the judo fans, the jiu-jitsu fans, and the sambo fans. So I think in capoeira, if that's what you want to. But
well, capoeira, like Professor Braden kind of like sat me straight. He's like, "That's a striking art." so I was like, it's like the like Eddie Gordo from Killer Instinct,
right?
You know, like, but no, going back to that, I mean, if we do a sambo versus a judo guy, we just both have them wear gi tops,
yeah,
and you know, sambo short or just regular, and then the judo guy has his grips. The sambo guy does what sambo guys do. And, you know, then you have them go at it. It's like UFC 1. Like, you'd have style versus style.
I think there's something to it is, like, you know, developing a certain rule set that it's fair for all grappling. And then I think what will come out of it is just like in MMA, there's a style to MMA, right? Mm-hmm. It's not just I knew jiu-jitsu and that's what I do against this boxer.
Unless you're Ryan Hall.
It created even he strikes too, you know. But like
that's what you want to call it.
There's a kind of style that was, you know, came out of UFC. So I think we can do the same with, you know, with grappling arts. So
and then like Keenan was saying though, the fusion in America is that everybody's training all kinds of different things. You're training your wrestling, you're training your judo.
Which he's a green belt in judo, right?
When I was at Studio 540 and I trained with Keenan, his training partner Don Bell, who he's fighting in the first round by the way at Euros. Keenan, but no, they were doing a judo class with some like high level Olympian when I got there, and like me and Dean were just sitting there like, damn, like Keenan was like tossing motherfuckers. Like, like it was impressive.
Having a well-rounded game, you know.
I mean, he's not just a guard puller. Like and they said that his wrestling, like I was talking to some guys, and they said like Keenan's wrestling is like probably one of his best assets. They said like trying to take that guy down is like one of the most difficult things you'll do.
Yeah, I mean he's been pretty successful in the no-gi world. I think he said he's
won a world title at no-gi.
He's won more titles in no-gi than
he's never won a world title in the gi. He's never at black belt and at black belt and no-gi he's won a title. Yeah. So, but yeah, Keenan, he's coming back against Roberto Jimenez. You know what kind of Marigali hit me up yesterday because he wants us to set him up a seminar in Austin because he's got to fly back after the Who's Number One show that he's doing with Flow Grappling. He's flying back to Austin to do some content with him. He's like, "Hey Ryan, my friend, you know, help me. Can you help?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
network man."
Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm helping him out there." But he told me, he's like, "Man, I was like, I think they really missed an opportunity because you have Victor Hugo and Marigali, and you got Keenan versus Roberto on there." And I'm like, everybody wants to see Keenan Marigali. Like we booked it before Worlds, and it came out and it was taken from us. Shit. But that was like one of the fight of the years in my opinions. Yeah. And Keenan won by 10 advantages. Like
but Keenan won. He's probably like, "Nah, I'm good."
And that's exactly what it is. So I hit Marigali. I'm like, "Yo, so let's talk about matches for you for the June card and blah 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 blah."
He wants that one back,
and he wants Keenan or he wants Felipe, and he's like, neither of them want to fight me. He's like, they're all going to say no. And like Felipe probably would, but Keenan.
I like the breakdown that Keenan did on the Matt Burn podcast of that fight against Marigali.
Like his triangle defense and everything. I saw you use it today.
Yeah, I tried. It didn't work.
Yeah, I saw you got caught in that triangle. And I was like, I was actually going to use the Keenan escape.
Yeah. Doesn't work against high-level black belts.
Unless you're a high-level
black belt, yeah.
But no, Keenan, I don't think that match is probably gonna happen anytime soon. I tried to make Keenan versus Felipe for this card coming up in March, and it was almost done. But Keenan's he couldn't commit. With the gym opening and all the other stuff going on that he has, it was hard for him to give us a commitment as far as I wanted it. I don't want to have a month or 3 weeks to market that fight.
Yeah, I mean he's building a gym. That's where his focus is right now too. So
yeah, he's a great guy, and he helped us out early on. You fighting for us on our first card.
We'll always be grateful to Keenan. Yeah, super grateful.
Yeah, big time. That guy's a great guy. I guess in other news, so what's up with you next? Are you coming up? Are you wanting to compete anytime soon?
Yeah, I'm going to do the Houston Open, but I mean now I'm purple belt, and I also am now Master 2.
Oh, man.
But I went on to and it's still early, but I went on to check out the brackets. There's four total male purple belts in Master 1 and Master 2 right now. And none of them are even in my weight division. So I'm like, all right.
Same here.
I guess I need to just sign up, and then if it happens, it happens.
Move your weight division wherever you got to go.
Well, I can't move it down.
Well, move up is what I'm saying.
To like featherweight. But yeah, I mean, there's I think a Master 1 super heavy person right now.
You can do ultra heavy.
And there's a Master 2. I got to relook at. I'm just gonna do my division, and then if last second I need to move, I'll move. But
yeah, I'm gonna do super or ultra.
Like probably. I said, purple belt's going to hiding. So where you at, purple belts?
Well, they know you're competing. They said Zach Marshall, one half of Third Coast Grappling's coming to compete. They don't want none of it.
Yeah,
well, but the nastiest front headlock in the game, ladies and gentlemen. They don't want none of that. But yeah, I guess I'm going to be competing too. I think I'm going to jump in there. I've looked at competing. I took all the pressure off, and when I did that, I just have had a lot better results. I go out and submit everybody, or I get my ass kicked in the first round.
Maybe I'll jump down on adult.
Yeah, adult was fun. I did that for this last Houston Open. I mean, that guy was. Yeah, I mean, I did really well with him, but like I thought I broke the guy's leg and he wouldn't tap. But like we were going up to the podium and he's all limping over there, and like he normally does absolute, and he just like got his gold medal and went home. He was like, "Nah, I'm done with this." But yeah, I think competing. I think
moral victory.
It was a moral victory. I snapped his leg. He didn't do the absolute, and I got to go home. But no, Zach. We both like to compete, and like the Houston Open is kind of like a yearly thing to where like everybody gets up for it. The whole gym's training for it.
Yeah, now they have it twice a year too, so
it's a great environment to get better at jiu-jitsu.
Keeps you focused. It gives you an excuse to lay off some of the carbs and the beer.
Yep. Well, I mean, I guess I just want to say once again thanks to the parents for trusting us with this first event. Thanks to the Bailey family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks to everybody that came out.
Thanks to our crew, our staff, Oliver, awesome announcing.
Amazing announcing.
Like, I'm not going to, call out our previous announcer.
I will call him out. I'll call him out.
But Oliver's...
I won't call him out.
I mean...
You're the best.
We just, looked over and were like, Oliver can do it. And then he, exceeded our expectations.
And I'm not going to say, I expected you to suck or anything. But we had such a bad luck with video guys and announcers. And so I was like, man, I just want something to stick. So I brought my guy Nava in, been an amazing video guy. But then Oliver, you were the diamond in the rough, my friend. You shine bright like a diamond. Your voice is perfect. You're on point. I mean, you do a great job. I couldn't be more happy with how things are going with that regard.
Yeah, even the interviews are good too.
Yeah, you ask good questions, probing questions. You want to get to the heart of what that 8-year-old's really feeling.
You don't give up the microphone, so it's key.
3CG loves the kids.
And the microphone wrangling skills at 3CG3, I must say, I didn't know if you were going to bust out and do a hopscotch or what was going on.
That's the ultimate rematch, Oliver versus the mic cable that we need to see again. Because if you go back and watch on Flow Grappling, pretty much all night, for some reason, the one event we don't have a wireless mic. I know it was 2019, but. Somehow there's still there's still wired mics out there that announcers have to go up on stage with, and there was a lady sitting on the cable because we had some tables up on the stage, and he had a pretty rough night when it comes to battling that mic. But ultimately came up victorious, and congratulations on that win. So,
but hey, yeah, I mean, this is let's wrap it up, baby.
Yeah,
there goes Grappling Radio, episode number 2 in the books.
Episode 2, and have a good night. Bye.
Peace.